Okay, so I'm going to move on with Module 1. I'm going to go down here and click on Module 1 before, which will, like I said, this does all of our typing for us. And this is, I'm not going to show you how to do all this colorful stuff, but I'll show you how to do the important parts of it. The rest of the stuff is covered in the textbook. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some formulas. And again, it's going to be different ways of doing them. Like I said, normally I don't really care how you do it, but we'll do these. So what we've got here is we've got a spreadsheet. It says personal budget worksheet monthly estimate. So this is an estimate of a budget for a year. We've got different types of income, and we've got our different types of expenses. And for every month we have these. So for our income, we have money coming in through wages, and we have money coming in through dividends. So apparently, like once every 6 months, we're going to get a dividend check. Our expenses includes things like rent, food, tuition, books, entertainment, car payment, gas, and miscellaneous. Then we have our total for our expenses. We have our total for our monthly income, and then we have a net, which is just how much money we have left at the end of the month. All right. So again, there's different ways of doing these formulas. And I'll just show you a few of them. So like first thing I'm going to do is what we're going to do first is we're going to get our income. Now, what I want you to notice is there's going to be what looks like 12 formulas here. Boom, 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 all the way over. And then we got our totals. So there's going to be 3 here. We even have our total of our totals. And then for our expenses, we have 12 again, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, so we probably got, 100 plus formulas, over 100 plus formulas to do in this thing. It's maybe not quite 100, but we got quite a few formulas we need to do on this. So and then we're going to figure out our net, so like how much money is left over at the end of the month. And then we're also going to do, again, like I said, I'm going to show you how to do some charts, like these 2 charts, those kinds of things. All right, so the first thing we got is our total. We'll just do our income first. So we got wages and dividends, and we're going to figure out what the monthly income is for each of these. So again, I don't really care how you do these formulas. It doesn't matter to me, but we'll just start off our formula, say equal. And then I'll just do it the first way. So I'll say equals this plus this. B4 plus B5. Again, I'll make sure my formula is right. I got these little boxes around it to kind of show me that it's right. And so there's our expenses for January. Now I want this same formula to apply to February, March, all the way through the year. Now I don't have to do the formula because I've done this formula here. I've included relative cell references that will change, so all I need to do is grab this sizing handle and I'm going to drag it all the way across. And you'll see that it changed, see, like this was B4 plus B5, this changed it to C4 plus C5, D4 to D5. The relative cell references change as I drag. I'll show you a different way because now we're going to do the total of the rows. So we're going to do the total of the wages for the entire year, the total of the dividends for the entire year, and the total of the total for the entire year. So again, I'll grab hold of this, and this time I'll do it using a sum function, so equals, and I'm going to go up here. It says average now. I don't want average. I want to change this to sum, and then I'm just going to click and drag, ignoring that box that appeared because I just don't pay attention to it. And my formula now reads equals the sum D4 through M4. Now remember again, just because it says sum does not mean it's included in your formula. You've got to click on it. That's what pops this sum function in. So I click on that, and then once I have that done, I can click this down, and now I have my totals for the entire year. So here's my total for wages is $17,005.44. My total dividends is $8,059.42. My total of all of my income for the year is $25,064.86. All right, so we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to add up our expenses for the entire month. So we'll just go use our formula. We're going to use the sum function here too. I just to show you, I use the auto sum here just to show you. So equal. Well, because I'm using auto sum, I just click on auto sum here, and I just always I'm just this way. I just always go through and click and drag to make sure that my formula is right. So if my formula now reads equals the sum of B9 through B16, B9 through B16, enter, and I can drag all the way over. And just to show you this, I'm going to drag this all the way over to total. It's going to show up nothing there because this, again, if I look at this, this is a total of this. There's nothing there yet. But watch, it's going to change in just a second. Because now I'm going to do the total rent, the total food, the total tuition, and that's going to come up here. Equals sum, I can drag, and then grab my autofill and drag straight down. So my total expenses for the year was $18,865.44. So at least I'm coming out in the good. All right, so our net is how much money we have left over at the end of every month and at the end of the year, for that matter. So our net is going to be our total income minus our total expenses. Total income minus total expenses for the month. So some of these months I'm going to come out good. Some of these months I'm probably going to be broke, just because I've got more money going out than I have coming in, because I've got a couple of tuition bills that kind of eat into me. So like this month, you can see that for August, you can see that my income is less than my expenses. So hopefully I have some money saved up from my dividend checks to help me out with it. So I'm going to create this formula, and this one I'll almost need to do a click this, then that. So this one will say equals my total income minus my total expenses. So B6 minus B17. And I'll see that this month I have $2,000 to the good. And I'll drag this all the way over. And there's my expenses. So you see, like, there's a couple months, like in May, again, tuition hit me, and so I'm like $188 in the hole, $1,700 in the hole. But fortunately, my dividend checks are going to keep me in pretty good shape. All right, so we've got that. Another thing I want to show you is, just because you're going to be doing this, up at the top you see that I've got this banner that says personal monthly worksheets, monthly estimates. Again, formatting these texts and stuff like that is kind of, you do it the same way we did in Word. So I won't go over that again, but we haven't done anything like this. So look at this personal budget worksheet. You see that I've got this banner that goes all the way from A1 to N1. But here's the funny thing about it. Here's my address bar, right? It says that I'm in cell A1. So I click on cell A1, that's where I'm at. But look what happens if I click on L1. L1 still says I'm in cell A1. This entire cell, from A1 all the way over to N1, is one cell. And it's only cell A1. There is no B1, C1, D. So you can try to click on it, and you can't. It's all cell A1. Same thing with this down here. I have another one that's loud dog. Quiet dog. Okay. So I have this other cell, which goes all the way from A2 all the way to N2. Same thing. Click in there. Everything is A2. There is no B2, E2, J2. There's none of those. So what this is a merged cell. So I've merged together cells A1 through N1 to create a brand new cell. And that brand new cell is going to be A1 because it takes on the name of the top left cell in the range. So to do this, go back here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select cells A1 all the way through N1. So I've selected these cells. And in my alignment group, on my home ribbon, there's this button that says Merge and Center. And that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to take up everything that's in cells A1 through N1 and merge it into one cell. Now, if I had any text like in H1, it would give me a warning message saying, hey, and in fact, I'll just put some stuff in here just to show you what'll happen. I'm just going to put some stuff here. So I'm going to select this range, and then I'm going to click on Merge and Center. And you see that I get this warning message that says merging cells only keeps the upper left value and discards other values. So the only thing that's going to keep is what's in cell A1. It's going to get rid of this other stuff. So that only keeps the stuff that's in the upper right, upper left cell. So I'm going to click on OK, and you'll see that this made this a merged cell. Do the same thing here. Select A2 all the way over to N2, merge and center, and then I can do whatever I want to it, just like we did in Word. I can give it a background and make the font red. Kind of locked up on me. Do the same thing here. Click on this one, make the background. I'll make the background red. Whoops. This one. Click this and make the background red and make the font yellow. Just vary it up a little bit. So that's a merge, and then I can do, I can make the cells bigger. And do, just do the same thing that we did in Word for this stuff. Change the fonts if I want to. Okay. So, and if I wanted to, if I wanted to give this thing this total row, if I want to give it a special total style, so I'm going to go to select that. I'll tell you what I'm going to select, and this is just to show you how you select multiple non-adjacent ranges of cells. So I'm just going to select this. Oops, come on. And then I'm going to go down, hold my control key down, I'm going to select this. It's just going to let me select two non-adjacent rows of cells. And then I'm just going to change this style to my total style. You can see that it puts that little, these styles will do things to your font. Like I can click on this, and hold the control key down and this. And maybe give this a heading style, like that, heading 3. And so as you can see, it's kind of starting to pull together. All right, so the last thing I want to get to, and sometimes this will get a little bit confusing. So what I want to do is I've got this, I'll do this pie chart first. So this pie chart shows it's the average monthly expenses for the year. So, and it just gives you a graphic explanation. So it's this is the rent, this is food, this is tuition, this is books, entertainment. So you see that I have the actual chart itself, and here I have a little legend that shows me what these different colors mean. All right, so to do this, I need to select the parts that's going to make this work. So this is a chart that shows my monthly expenses, just an average of my monthly expenses for the year. So well, actually, it's my total monthly expenses for the year. So for my rent, my total expenses was $4,920. So that's here. My food was $33.60. So that's here. My tuition was $3,300. So that's here. So what I've got is this is my total. So these numbers are what makes up the size of the wedges of this pie, and these names are what gives me this legend down here. So I need to be able to select both of these at the same time. So again, I am selecting two non-adjacent ranges of cells. So let's go back to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my names, because that's important to me, because this is the part that's going to give me the legend. And then I'm going to hold the control key down and going to click and drag to select the corresponding numbers for these cells. So rent $49.20, food 3360. I have both of these selected, and now that's going to give me the names that go with these numbers. These numbers are going to make up the parts of the wedge of the pie. So I'm going to insert, and I'm going to go to charts, and what I'm interested in is just a pie chart. So I'm just going to change this to a 3D pie. So I click on that, and that gives me, oops, so gotta be careful about what you click and drag inside of one of these things. And that gives me this chart that I was looking through. So this is where you're going to have to select non-adjacent groups, ranges of cells. So select the first range, hold the control key down, and select the second one. And so we'll do it again. I'll show you. This time we're going to do the month and the expenses for the month. So this time I'm interested in the month of the year here and the expenses for each month. So again, you'll see like January, I have it's higher because I have a tuition bill, $1,500. May, I have a tuition and books bill. August, tuition and books. So this is a graphical representation of my expenses by the month. This is a graphical representation of my expenses per expense. So rent, tuition, books, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do this the same way, except we're just going to select different stuff. So the first thing I need to do is select my months. So I've selected all the way from January all the way over to December. I'm going to hold the control key down, and now I'm going to select the totals for each of those months. So here's my months. Here's my total that corresponds to each of those months. So I'm going to go back to my insert. This time I want it to be a line, a bar graph. So I'm going to choose a 3D column chart. That gives me this, and this, again, gives me a graphical representation of my expenses for each month. So the hardest part of this is just trying to figure out what you need to select. But that's how you do a chart. All right, I will be back again with Module 2.